Oh, hey, what's up? Welcome back. Another video. That's right. So today we are back at it talking about camera tech and camera gear and whatnot. We're in the same environment we were for the last couple videos, but here we are, and I'm here to talk to you guys about white balance. It is very simple to understand white balance, but if you needed the video, here it is. Now, white balance is basically changing how white light looks on screen. Now, when you are in your house and you have lights on in your kitchen and whatnot, you're seeing that this is orange light, right? That is orange light, that is tungsten light, that is 3200 degree light in a sense. Now, all light has a different color temperature to it, and generally when you're in a house or you're outdoors is broken down into two different types of white balance. Now, there's a number within inside of your white balance that's usually in broken down into 4 digits. Usually daylight is more towards the 5600 degree area, and tungsten, aka those house bulbs that are giving off the light that are orangey, are more towards the 3200 degree spectrum. So when you are setting your white balance, when you move your white balance towards that 3200 degrees, like that light's giving off, it's trying to neutralize that. It is taking what essentially is blue and it's trying to add it to the image to change that color to make it more white. Now, take a look at this video right here. I shot this at 2900 degrees. That is as low as that number gets in my camera. Now, when you look at that image, all the lights that I have inside that room are just daylight. The sunlight's coming through the window, and I have the exact same type of sunlight augmented off to the right side of camera that you can't see, just to kind of fill in the shadows a little bit. Now, this light looks really blue on camera because I'm adding blue to what is already blue light. Sunlight is 5600 degrees, and I'm adding more blue to that sunlight, which makes it look even more blue. So if I dial it up to 3200 degrees, you can see it's a little less crazy. That's more if I was trying to balance for tungsten or, you know, these orangey bulbs up here. Or if I take it to the next step and I go to 5600, this is that image right here, is actually neutralizing what daylight is putting off. Now, daylight usually has a very cool image to it. So with adding white balance more on the higher number side of things, you're actually introducing kind of like an orangey color to change the white balance and to neutralize it, because you're trying to make white look white and not make it look orangey white. You know what I mean? So if we take it to the extreme now and I go all the way up to 9900 degrees on my camera, you're seeing that the image looks even more orangish, almost like we are looking into my kitchen light right there. Now, again, that is because we are adding orange to our image to counteract the blue light coming in from the sunlight. So now you can kind of see that when you're changing your color temperature, you're actually adding different types of light in there. Now, there's more custom options inside of some cameras where you can actually dial in and change what the white actually goes towards rather than just going towards blue. And then you can also set it to auto white balance. Now, auto white balance is cool, but when you have changing colors and lights and stuff around you, it might start to look a little weird, and it might start to change the color of your image to maybe something that looks maybe a little bit more yucky, and you don't really want that. I usually like to control my lighting, so I usually set my white balance in camera on my own, and if I really need to, I can tweak settings and fine-tune things to make it how I want the viewer to see white light. Now, right now, my camera is set to, I think, about 6000 degrees on the white balance, and that's to give my skin color a little bit of a more warmth to it. I know I got these high-powered blue LEDs behind me, but you can see that because I'm sitting at that higher number, that 6000 degrees, it's looking real orange in this other room. Now, if I were to walk back there, I would actually look a little bit more orange than normal, and maybe a little too orange for my liking. And that's because I'm not balancing for that room back there. I am white balancing to this room and this environment. If I had something white, now I have a slate right here, and if you actually kind of look at this, if these colored lights weren't on, maybe I can turn that off real quick. Now, if I turn off all my my LEDs here and I hold up something white, something like this little clapperboard I got here, you can actually see that that white light looks a little more warm. It's not pure white. You know, even these little lines right here are not pure white. They are white, but it's a little touch towards the oranger side because I'm introducing more warmth into my white balance. I want to balance for my skin tones and make them look a little bit more how I like to see it, but you know, to each their own, and you can set it to however you want. Now, I could set this to be super blue if I wanted to, but I don't feel like doing that. So this video covered how to change your white balance, and hopefully you understand what white balance is actually doing. And when, you know, you can always choose to set your white balance before or after, or if you need to tweak the settings a little bit more, feel free. You can always change it anytime you want. There's no set order you have to do things in, but generally if you're outdoors, you want to set your white balance to something close to 5,600 degrees. If you start to lower that number, it's going to get a little bit more colder looking or cool colored. Or if you start to warm it up the other way using the higher numbers, you can actually start to warm up that image and maybe look a little bit more sunsetty or whatever you want. And when you are indoors, generally, if you are using practical house lights and house lamps and whatnot, they're usually kind of towards the oranger side, unless you're working with daylight bulbs, in which then you would dial your white balance accordingly. But generally, tungsten light, this colored light back here, is on the warmer side, so you got to dial in your color temperature towards the 3,200 degrees. And just as a quick test, let me show you guys exactly what that 3,200 degrees looks like if I actually set this camera to 3,200 degrees. Now it's gonna get a little blue. Now you can see the image looks a lot more blue than normal, and I got a little color grading going on my OBS, so it's recording this at a little weird, like all my shadows have a little green in it. But you can kind of see that the light in the background back here, it looks a little more natural to the human eye. Maybe that kind of looks like a little bit less crazy orangey warmth light. Maybe that's something I'm going for. Now I could dial that completely out by custom white balancing to maybe that, that cupboard back there to really dial it in, but I just wanted to show you how it looked. So now we are back at 6,000 degrees on the white balance. So this concludes the video. Hope you guys liked it. Hope it taught you something, and now you kind of understand white balance. When you choose to change the white balance is on you. You just try it out, play around with it. And so maybe it helps you out a little bit to tweak your white balance, afterwards, to maybe warm up your image or cool it down a little bit. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. We got more videos coming down the pipeline. I got another one coming up, so stay tuned. I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Bye.